Greetings. They just told me that you are around.
Yes, I went to Jigawa. Because of this incident. So I started to go there and see the government.
Yeah, it's good.
That day we finished. I always try to go back to Lagos.
This flight, that just arrived.
Go back to Lagos.
Why is our the private one? Why are you keeping it? Don't allow them to look at you like asshole.
No. I've always
You're like the masses.
I've always been with the masses. Yes. Thank you very much. I had the calling to receive and the commissioner has been you're the one who sponsored them. So it's your own product. So it's advertising it. So when we say it's working. Welcome, guys. Today is a very good day. We can see our own principal, His Excellency P2B with Kwankwaso. But news coming out from Kano State is not palatable because the Federal High Court sitting in Kano State had disqualified the chairman and members of the State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting the local government election coming up on Saturday today. Welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. And today, the Angel is back with us. And of course, we are going to keep this thing going. Angel, welcome to Obidient Family TV back again.
Thank you, my obedient people. I'm happy to be back.
All right. So judging from what we just watched, you can see His Excellency P2B romancing Kwankwaso and all that. I think this is a welcome development.
Of course, of course.
What do you
Very
have to say?
hopeful.
Okay.
We hope that good thing, good news.
Whether major, whether...
Yes, will be appreciated.
All right, very well. Okay, let's get to it. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, once again, we are to discuss and deliberate on the things that are happening in Nigeria. The Federal High Court, sitting in Kano State, of course, has disqualified the chairman and members of the Kano State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government election. The same thing that they tried or attempted to do in Port Harcourt. You know what it is for Kano State and Rivers State that Tinubu is waving his wand across. The court ruled that the chairman and other members of the commission are card-carrying members of the ruling New Nigerian Party in Kano State and not civil servants. But all of this we are going to discuss because it is hitting hot in Kano State. I bet, of course, His Excellency P2B and, of course, having that Kwankwaso coming back. We don't know what is brewing, but, of course, we are to deliberate in all of this today. Let me quickly get to our people who are in on Zoom. We have, of course, Mr. Basi and Mr. Tony. Let me start with that briefly. Mr. Basi, can you tell us what you think about this newfound or chance meeting, or is it a coincidence that Kwankwaso and P2B finally meets, and at the same time we are seeing a Federal High Court sitting in Kano State trying to do some brouhaha in Kano State? What are your thoughts on this quickly?
For having me, and good evening, Angel. You're welcome back. Good to have you on board. Good evening, Obedience across the world, my fellow Zoom panelists. I see this as a welcome development because whatever it takes to restore back sanity into our political system, our polity, it's a welcome development. I know some school of thought amongst Obedient are of the opinion that Peter Obi should not associate with certain politicians. But at this point in time, at the time we are in this country, I really don't care who he associates with. Once that relationship or that is geared towards restoring sanity back to this country by removing this APC-led government, for me, it's a welcome development because Nigerians are suffering on a daily basis. people are committing suicide. People are going insane because of what they are going through in the country. So whatever it takes, even if it means cutting the devil to remove this government and bring sanity back to this country, it's a welcome development. And I will enjoin all politicians to come together, coalesce, and ensure that there's unity of purpose for the purpose of removing this wicked government that is breathing, that is making Nigerians not to breathe on a daily basis. That is my take on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abasi. Thank you very much. Before we get to this, Angel, I think you want to do me
talk. You can see he appreciated the meeting, like you said, whether it is for the merger 2027 talks. But looking at what is happening in Kano State, you see what Wike is doing in Rivers State is still the same kind of something that is happening in Kano State now. We have maybe over close on 20 states who has conducted local government elections, but we did not see any. They allowed them to all fly. But why is Kano State now another problem like Rivers?
I think Tinubu has interest in it.
Yeah.
Just like Rivers State. Not that he's supposed to allow them be because they are governors. Let them handle their states. But why is he pop-nosing? Because he have interest in them. And you know, those two states have crowd.
They have a lot of voting power.
Voting power, yes.
Yeah.
They have a lot of voting power. And Tinubu should let them be. So that the masses can vote who they want. So accountable.
Talking about this, Angel, talking about voting and all that, we heard that Kaduna State Electoral Body announced winners of local government posts without supplying voting materials.
It's not even a new thing to Nigerians because they already know that
their votes don't count.
Exactly. Apart from that, the INEC, they are failures.
So that is just what everybody believes. The state is under capture.
Exactly.
Okay, let me get back to our people on Zoom. Mr. Tony, can you tell us your take on what is happening in Kano State amid the romance of His Excellency Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, and of course, the hit now that the Federal High Court has given them?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kanu. I'm glad to be here again. I just don't want to run faster than my shadow. So to predict exactly what they said or what they talked about to each other. But if it continues, you know, it's been going around, there's been rumor that the two guys want to join together as a force. That would be good. Whoever can come and add to Obi is a welcome development. And I hope that other political parties, particularly the PDP, because Wike is going to mess PDP up. We know he's paymaster, he's Tinubu, and he's hell-bent on making sure that Tinubu wins Rivers State. That's his job. No two ways about it. Now, he has to take the forces of good governance, you know, people of goodwill to come together and form a strong opposition that can challenge these guys, because they are even saying it openly that they are going to make sure that there will be no formation of a strong opposition. And we can see the handwriting on the walls everywhere. And men and women of goodwill in this country have to come together and take these guys out of the way. They are prepared. And this is not just going to be coming together loosely. They have to come with all the energy and force to dismantle this cabal. Whatever it's going to take, mano a mano, that's what it's going to take this period of time. Whichever way they want it, just give it to them so that we can get rid of them. And in Kano, does it make sense? Why is it that this judiciary, these men and women in the judiciary cannot help our democracy thrive? Why is it that they always passing judgments, pronouncing judgments that goes contrary to common sense? Which other state electoral commission is free from the ruling party in that state? Which state? Why Kano? And the election is very close. So, I mean, it's like Fubara said, these people should be real careful because they are the gods we see, and they are the ones that will make or break this democracy. They should be very careful. Very, very careful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Let me get you back.
Mr. Basi, hope you're there. But let me come back to studio. Angel, we were just talking about the World Bank warning Chief Bola Tinubu about the wasteful expenditure under his watch, the purchase of the vehicles and all of that. You know, before we get to our people on Zoom, what are your thoughts on this? Because, you know, when he said Nigerians should be patient, you know, that his policies are going to make sense at the end of the day. But we now found out, or Nigerians found out, that he's excessively spending. We don't want to talk about the purchase of the his presidential jet, which Nigerians don't know how much it cost us anyway. Up to now, he has not been able to declare that. And of course, the remodeling of presidential villa, buying of vehicles. Now, the World Bank that gives him all these loans, who have told us that we must endure for another 15 years, is telling him to cut down on buying vehicles. Shouldn't they stop themselves from even giving him those loans?
I think that is the most important thing, because we also thank the World Bank for listening to Nigerians, because I think Nigerians cried out to them and they heard it. Because for them, another thing is for them to implement the advice. It's not about advising Chief Tinubu. It's also cutting down or stop giving the loan entirely. Because by the time Tinubu cannot get the loan, I think he don't even need anybody to advise him to cut down on the expenses, because all those vehicles are not needed.
Exactly. What about the youth confab? What about the youth confab? Tinubu is trying to, if you ask me, is trying to distract Nigerians from all this his failed policies. And by doing so, he's calling for a 30-day confab, meaning conference, bringing youth together. Don't you think that is
it's another wastefulness?
Another wastefulness.
Yes.
Okay, let me get to the Mr. Basi. Mr. Basi, these two things, you've heard what Angel said about Tinubu's confab, and of course the World Bank position on the wasteful expenditure of Chief Bola Tinubu. What is your take, Mr. Basi?
Thank you once again for having me. For the World Bank, I don't want Nigerians to be carried away by what World Bank is saying, because The reason we are in this mess, in this problem, is because of the World Bank and IMF. If you notice across the world, there is no way these people have intervened that the life of those countries have been the same. We backtrack back to 1985 during the structural adjustment program of Babangida. It was the same World Bank who insisted that Naira should be devaluated. So when you look at this, and that was the beginning of Nigeria's economic woe. Right from that moment, we started having these challenges because these people don't mean well for Nigeria. What they are trying to do is just so that it will look as if they have interest in Nigeria. They don't have any good interest in Nigeria because no reasonable person will encourage, first, floating of your Naira, secondly, removal of fuel subsidy. Meanwhile, in developed countries, this World Bank, some of those things, those people are enjoying subsidy. In America, they are enjoying subsidy. In UK, they enjoy subsidy in some essential services. So how come in Nigeria, they want to kill Nigerians by forcing this government to remove subsidy, whatever an average Nigerian is enjoying, you are asking them to remove subsidy. So now you are telling these people, okay, you need to cut down your cost of governance. Yet, like my sister said, Angel, you are giving them money. If you know that these people are extravagant in their spending, so why do you keep giving them money? Why don't you put a condition, except you cut down on your cost of governance, you will not get anything. And then whatever money you are getting should be tied to a project. But here we see this government collecting money, lavishing it. Each time they collect money from World Bank, you see them going on spending spree. It is either the president will go to UK or France, or his vice will go somewhere. This is what it is. Okay, so for them to come out now and ask that they should cut down on cost of governance, is it that they are just realizing that this government have been, spending money unwisely? Come on.
Yeah, Mr. Basi, let's look at the second issue, which is Nigerian
proposing youth conference, as if Nigerians are seeing it as if he's diverting attention from his failed policies. What is your take?
Very, very spot on. That is just a diversion of, so that Nigerians will not pay attention to what is happening. They're just trying to shift attention of Nigeria. You know that the agitators of this bad governance are the youth. So in other words, what he's trying to do is to engage them in 1 month, put them somewhere, spend money, and then you know what is going to happen there, so that they will have a moment of respite in doing whatever they are doing. So by the time you come out of 1 month, you will not have a mouth to say anything again, because they would have taken, maybe given you guys, accommodate you, feed you, give you good this thing. And then by the time you come out, you will not be able to challenge the bad governance any longer. So that is what it is. They are trying to shift attention of Nigerians from demanding for good governance. That's exactly what is happening. And Nigerians should not be deceived by this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tony, quickly, let's have your take on this.
Why some people have dismissed this very particular confab as another round of political jamboree to waste the country's lean resources, like Mr. Basi said. Other people have concluded that it is yet another smart move to win the youth's support ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Mr. Tony, what's your take?
I think I will agree with them. I'm of the same opinion that this is just a way, another wasteful way to buy time. You see, the IMF or the World Bank is telling these people to cut down on cost of governance. And they're going to bring, how many of them we don't know, how many youths together for 1 month, paying hotel bills, transport, paying for transportation, and what have you, and food. For what purpose? It's a waste of time and resources. If you really want to engage the youth, you know what their demands are. They've made it clear. Tackle it with policies. Or if you really want to sit down face to face, call their leaders and tell them exactly what your policies are and what you're going to do in order to implement their demands. This idea of calling the youths for 1 month is bizarre. This is the mentality of some people that call themselves educated, that want to govern the people. And this is the kind of ideas they're coming up with. We have to spend money. And you can bet that a lot of civil servants, you're going to get a lot of coordinators running around, making their own money, getting a share of that budget for this conference. So you see, no matter what you do, these people have no intention of governing to go. A way of making money, put in their pockets. It's mind-boggling, to be honest with you. And talking about the World Bank, let me say this. You know, they say the person who pays the piper dictates the tone. This is what they are doing. All these institutions lending money to Nigeria. You know that Nigeria's government, the people running the show, are almost criminals. They are corrupt. And you're still giving them. But let me say this. Whatever they are doing, they're trying to protect their investment. Because it's like going to the bank to borrow money for a business or for anything. The bank will ask you for collateral, something tangible they can hold on in case you fumble. Now, they don't want anything tangible to hold, but they want to create the environment for them to make sure that they recoup that investment they are putting in. They're not doing it because they are Father Christmas. No. And if they're really sincere, knowing fully well, like some of you have suggested, not to give Nigeria any more loans, knowing fully well that the money will just dissipate. Let them send technical people to implement that money, to make sure that that money is invested in the projects allocated with the money. That's the way they can make sure that the money is not corruptly embezzled. If they want to help African nations, it's because it looks like it's mostly in Africa that are doing all these World Bank and IMF loans. You know, it's not good. They're not doing it for best interest. Otherwise, people-oriented policies should be what they should be advocating for, not strictly their money, the loan they gave Nigeria, protecting the loan. That's not what they should be doing. Let Nigerians suffer. As long as we protect our investment, that's fine. And they will come up with all these working papers, how Nigeria can progress and how Nigeria is not progressing and all the stuff like that. This is not what we want. You know, our leaders are corrupt. You guys know it very well. Do not give them money. Do not send the money to them. Send your experts, technical experts, not economists that will write all this jargon and then publish it and assume that we'll feel good about it. We're not feeling good about anything. We are suffering. Nigerians are suffering with your policies.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Talking about money.
Angel, let me come back to you in the studio. The former House of Rep member Farouk Lawan, I saw a trending video today where he came out from prison and just jumped into the car and was very happy to have been out of prison. But I don't know, I think it's 500,000 US dollars bribe that sent him to prison, right?
Yes.
Okay, you saw the video.
Yes.
You saw it trending. Okay, what is your thought on that?
It's nice one, at least he has freedom. But my take on it is he only Farouk? What about others?
They're like the Gandola.
Yes, Ganduje. Is it because he's now APC chairman?
His sins are
just
forgiven.
like, yes, just like Oshomoro said, enter APC party, your sins will be forgiven.
I think
if they want to fight corruption, exactly,
they
sacrificial
sacrifice
lamb,
Lawam,
yes.
and of course, but he will still meet his look. Gandola or Ganduje, whatever is, when he finishes, whoever is protecting him now, like Tinubu is protecting him and all of that, another government when he comes in, maybe the limitation time, if he has not gone out of the status of limitation, as the case might be, he may still be prosecuted.
I just hope so, because as the governors are fighting the EFCC, I don't know if that will be possible.
Yeah, talking about EFCC, I think there's a breaking news today that the Supreme Court reserved judgment on cases. But something interesting happened in the
Three governors.
Three governors pulled out of the case. I think that of Anambra and 2 other states pulled out of this. But that's, let me even get the perspective of Mr. Bassi. Mr. Bassi, this issue of the Supreme Court, we have 3 governors that has pulled out of the matter today, and then the Supreme Court reserved their judgment. Do you see anything coming out of that very Supreme Court matter? Because some people say that it's because the governors don't want the EFCC to be witch hunting them, but you know, the youths also don't like the issue of EFCC witch hunting them. So the youths are kind of in line with the states that are going there. So what is your take on that? And of course, like Angel envisaged, the Farouk's exit from the prison. How do you think the House of Representatives former member feels at the moment?
I really don't want to stick my neck out with the Nigerian courts, because you know, these people cannot be trusted. The justices. It depends on how they feel. You see, this time you can't say on point of law that this is where the judgment is going to go. And whatever would have caused those governors to withdraw from the case is the reason best known to them. I don't want to speculate. And what I'm saying is that whatever the court is going to decide, they should realize that as bad as EFCC may have been classified, they have also helped in putting in check some of these governors and government officials from excessive corruption. Imagine a nation where there is no EFCC, what Nigeria would have been. It would have been a case of who can steal most. Even with EFCC, we all see what is happening. So, like Oshomole said, once you come to APC, your sins are forgiven. So how many of the APC stalwart or politicians are being haunted by this? Apart from the Yaya Bello, who probably had fallen out of favor. Tell me one APC governor, or even the people that have crossed from one party back to APC. So these are the issues that we are faced with. And for Lawan, I hope he has learned his lesson, even though I know that was a setup. They set him up for that fall, and he fell for it. And we all know how the issue that came out of that subsidy probe. What came out of it? They used him as a sacrificial lamb, and all the people who were in that subsidy scam, today they are even the most honored people in the society, in the government. So what are we talking about? So what I'm just trying to say is that let's just hope that as he's coming out, he will come and he's probably going to join back his APC, his group. Well, even though his group has also let him down, but again, like I said, they used him as a sacrificial lamb so that it looks as if they are pursuing corruption. That's what it is. But for EFCC, I would expect Supreme Court to rather see how they can strengthen the law, enabling law that to strengthen EFCC's, make them more independent, detach them from government manipulation and this thing, and let them be more functional, just like every other anti-corruption agency in other climes. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Basi. Thank you also, Mr. Tony, for
your time to be with us and share with us your opinions and all of that. Let's come back to studio. Angel, you've heard our guests and what they have said, but I want to divert a little, talking about what is happening in Nigeria now. And we know the price of fuel has gone up. This while you're not around, we have been talking about the fuel going all the way to 1,300 right now. And the cost of living so high, not like you were when you were in the studio and all that. But you have seen it, you have been going to the market, and you know how all of these things pan out. Now, the people in the past, like Pastor Bakare, like Wole Soyinka, like all those men of Femi Falana and co. All of these people that were pushing Jonathan as at that very time, they seem not to be talking now. What's your take?
It's very funny. The thing is that, Nigerians and their tribalistic, should I say, attitude. Falana, Wole Soyinka, and Bakare, they are all Yorubas.
They were at the forefront.
They were at the forefront when Jonathan, and during Jonathan, funny enough, during Jonathan's time, we were in heaven. Nigerians were enjoying.
Wow.
Because fuel was
notwithstanding the corruption.
Notwithstanding the corruption, which the APC were saying, PDP were corrupt. Fuel was 65 naira. I think Jonathan increased it to, is he 85 or 100? They were in the streets, chanting and making noise. But now that the fuel is 1,000 plus, we can't hear anything.
As at that time, I think the bag of rice is about 15.
No, 6,500, wow. 7,000, yes.
Wow.
6,500.
So where are these men now? Why are they not saying anything? Exactly my question.
Wole Soyinka is still very much
around. Bakare is still very much around. And then we're talking Falana. They are all around now. And this cost of living has tripled. As a matter of fact, people in Nigeria are in perpetual, I don't want to see poverty, but they are like people who are already captured.
They lost hope. There
lost hope, right?
Yes. They are in hopelessness right now. Hopeless situation. Because so many people are committing suicide.
Renewed hopelessness.
Exactly. Yet our president doesn't even care.
Well,
the politicians doesn't care. The senators, the House of Reps, they don't care. All the leaders don't care because they shared loan from the World Bank. So if you don't care about the people you are leading, the people, the citizens suffering, what There is no sympathy.
I share your talk, because right now they have even gone to the extent of allowing state government to capture all their state local government by these sham local government elections they are doing. Anyway, whatever is your thoughts on all of this, go to the comment section. Tell us what you feel. Do you think that Nigeria has been captured and all the states in Nigeria, local government, grassroots, all grabbed by the governors? What is your take? Are you in this together in Nigeria feeling the heat? Tell us what your thoughts are. And of course, feel free to tell us what His Excellency P2B is merging with Kwankwaso as we come back. Angel, I think this is as much as we can take because our time is up.
Yes. Thank you, my lovely and intelligent Obidient worldwide. I'm happy to be back. Thank you. Tell your neighbor that Obidient family is live. We are back, and wonderful people, my people, we appreciate you. We thank you. God bless you. Bye.